Thanks to the use of blue and green screens, special effects in movies can often be quite jaw-dropping when done right. However, the use of this special effects technique isn't always executed well.
Now stop that!
Welcome to The Rewind. Today, we'll be counting down the top 10 worst blue or green screen effects of all time. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and hit the subscribe button for good luck. Number 10. Han Solo Cutout, Star Wars: A New Hope.
Look, Jabba, even I get bored sometimes. You think I had a choice?
Star Wars is still considered to be one of the most impressive movie franchises of all time, even if some of the special effects haven't aged so well. In one scene from Episode 4, A New Hope, Han Solo can be seen circling a CGI-rendered Jabba the Hutt in a very unnatural way. If you look closely, you can see a blurry cutout around Han Solo's overall silhouette. Also, his movements are extremely choppy, almost as if it was done by hand. It doesn't help that both Han Solo and Jabba the Hutt have juxtaposing clarity, which makes the chroma keying stand out even more.
15, Jabba, don't push it.
Number 9. Dinosaur Stampede, King Kong. Including dinosaurs in your movie definitely poses a tricky special effects dilemma, but the CGI in King Kong actually isn't that bad. It's the green screening that doesn't live up to the expectations of viewers. None of the characters seem to be interacting with the dinosaurs even though they're right under them. There's lighting where shadows should be casted, awkward and stiff running, and overall, the editing just doesn't do this scene justice. Number 8. Dry Arctic, Titanic 2.
How long do we have before it collapses?
It's hard to say.
Before you ask, no, this isn't a sequel to 1997's Titanic. Instead, it's a film based on an actual ship named after the original Titanic. It's even more obvious that these two films aren't related when you compare the production quality of James Cameron's Titanic to this 2010 film. One scene in particular takes place in the Arctic, but it's obvious that the actors aren't actually there. Despite all the snow everywhere, not a single snowflake makes contact with the actors on screen. Additionally, the frame rate isn't consistent when you compare the chroma keyed actors to the environment they're in, which is noticeable when they move around. Number 7. Unused blue screen, Star Trek Insurrection.
Well, I thought we're getting too old for this.
After today, that won't be a problem for either of us.
Usually, the point of having a blue or green screen is to replace it with a unique backdrop in order to create a convincing scene. However, Star Trek Insurrection didn't seem to get the memo, since their blue screen appears to go unused altogether. While it could have been an afterthought, it's clear that the static blue backdrop in the ship's interior was meant to be much more. The odd choice is more distracting than anything else.
All right. I will.
Number 6. Jungle Chase, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. As the fourth film in the series, you'd think that Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull would outmatch its predecessors in production quality. Sadly, this isn't the case. It seems like the filmmakers didn't bother to learn from the previous films at all. Aside from the overabundance of CGI, the green screen looks particularly bad. In a car chase scene, you can clearly see how much the actors stand out in comparison to all the action happening around them. Number 5. Floating Head, Green Lantern. Using CGI to animate a supersuit isn't a foreign concept. After all, it's how a lot of the action scenes in Spider-Man were made. What's bad is when the only organic footage being used is nothing but the actor's head, which is exactly the case in Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds' head appears to just be floating in the middle of a CGI environment. Deadpool, another Ryan Reynolds film, takes a jab at Green Lantern's failed special effects by suggesting to do the exact opposite of whatever the Green Lantern film did.
Please don't make the supersuit green or animated.
Number 4. Face Out of Place, The Love Guru. Judging by the fact that this film is meant to be a comedy, we're going to assume that the poor execution of green screening Mike Myers' head onto a child's body was probably intentional. Intended or not, that doesn't save the effects from being distracting and not at all convincing. The proportions of the head are in no way cohesive with the body, and the noticeably blurred cutout doesn't really help its case either.
I want to become a guru so girls will like me. Then I will like myself.
Number 3. The Game World, Spy Kids 3 Game Over.
I'm the guy. The real guy. And I say we go in, we beat this unwinnable level, and we get to the other side.
The Spy Kids franchise is no stranger to CGI environments, but the third installment is definitely the most complex given that the majority of the film takes place within a video game. It's easy to see just how badly everyone blends in with the video game world around them. Scenes with clear backdrops or movement make it painfully obvious, like how Junie's hair doesn't move at all when he's racing at high speed. Number 2. Bike Chase, Ultraviolet.
It's me.
Did you get it?
Yeah. But they're serious about not letting me keep it.
Fine.
While we could name a lot of scenes that use blue screen poorly in 2006's Ultraviolet, the one that stands out the most is the bike chase. Whether Violet is driving on the side of a building or performing midair stunts, the execution of it all has not aged well. It's even worse during close-ups of Violet's face, where the blue screen bleeds through her hair in just about every instance. And let's not forget how well her face is tracked in her side view mirror. Number 1. Poorly placed puppets, Labyrinth.
Ain't got no clothes to worry about. No clothes to worry about. Ain't got no real estate or jewelry or gold. My baby, I just throw in my shit.
Number 1 on our countdown is probably the most disappointing, considering the actual film is filled with movie magic that brings the world of Labyrinth to life. Sadly, the same can't be said for the film's chroma keying techniques. Traditionally, blue or green screens are used to insert real-life assets into fictional environments, but the team behind Labyrinth decided to use a black screen instead. The black screen does the film a huge disservice, especially for its puppets. It's pretty easy to spot black auras around each character, and none of the characters properly interact with the background. It doesn't even look like the characters are actually there. It just appears to be a bunch of floating props placed over a large JPEG. This is easily one of the worst chroma keying techniques featured on our countdown.
Glow, glow, ha! Chili down with fire gangs. Think small with fire gangs.
What do you think of our list? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Check out these other videos from The Rewind, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another video again.